Alrighty, well, this is me in San Diego County going places that SB2 would not want you to go. But SB2, the sensitive places thing, I got tossed. I was only being enforced for about 6 days, I think, or 7 days, and then even then it wasn't. It was enforced, but nobody was enforcing it. And I don't think anybody would, to be honest with you, unless they stumbled on you. And forgive me, I don't have great audio today. All I got is my phone with me. But I already stopped and got gas at the gas station. Stopped over at Costco and got gas. Right? I'm going to run over here real quick, grab a cup of coffee, probably get a chocolate chip cookie. I don't know why, just because I like them. We'll do that at Starbucks because Starbucks is like this purportedly anti-gun place. Which I guess it kind of is. I don't know. I never asked them. Years ago, when they had the CEO of Starbucks came out and said, "Don't carry guns in our place," I stopped because at the time we owned a security company, and we did more high-end things than anything else. And then we'd stop at a Starbucks to kind of have a debrief. Sometimes we'd meet at a Starbucks before we went to go do something. The whole crew would come together because we did events and. You know, I worked with Dave, one of the guys, a close friend of mine, Dave Weiner, and he's a dog handler, and we did explosives detection and like that. We worked with his company to do that as well, and another friend as well on top of that. So we did a lot of stuff where we got together as a crew. We were all friends, so we'd stop at Starbucks to get coffee. Everybody liked really strong coffee. They make bold, obnoxious coffee, so we would get that, and then sit around and debrief afterwards. Well, I went into a couple of Starbucks where we stopped periodically here in San Diego, and one up in Orange County, one in LA, and like that. And I said, "Look, guys, we come in here periodically. This is who we are. It's what we do." And I was told by the managers of all of those, "Look, don't pay any attention to the CEO there. He's just wanting people not to make it a protest place," because you may remember that they had open carry protests, and people would go to Starbucks to have their open carry protests, which I don't have a problem with at all, but apparently it was scaring some of the customers away. So Starbucks is in the business of selling coffee, not promoting gun rights, and so they asked him not to do that anymore. So I'm here I'm going to stop, what time I got? I got to get going here because I got to get to the range, right? So I've already gotten gas. I'm going over here to get some coffee. I'm carrying a 9mm like I normally do, a little Smith & Wesson. And I'm going to walk in and get my coffee, and I'll take you with me. Just so, let me unplug my phone here. Take my phone with me, and we'll go get our coffee, okay? So it's going to be a little wonky. I'll probably have the phone in a weird position, but nevertheless, just so that you know, in California, even in California, if you go through the nightmarish application process, you can actually get a permit to carry, and you can carry in public places. And even California, as much as they'd like to make it impossible to carry, truth is, that's not going to happen. I mean, they might win a little bit here, lose a little bit there, but they're going to lose all of it at some point or other, one step at a time. What they're going to be able to get away with right now for a while is making it a little bit harder by making the class longer and throwing some other roadblocks in the way, but those are going to get tossed out in court too eventually. So just hang in there. If you haven't already applied, I urge you to do that. All right, here we go. Get my coffee and my cookie. Right to the head of the line, and boy, I feel special. I just want a large cup of coffee, whatever your brew of the day is, and a chocolate chip cookie.
You want us to warm that up?
No, don't do it, because I get chocolate all over me and I look like the Multi-Meal kid. I feel like I need my mom to clean my chin off from chocolate. Oh, you're awesome. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Have a wonderful day. All right, off we go. Oh, thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it. Have a terrific day.
I will try it. hope you do as well.
I'm going to do it regardless. I hope.
Screw the world, do
Screw the world, I'm going to do it. That's right. I'm going to have a good day whether they want me to or not. That is if I don't get myself run over anyway.
Run over in the way.
That's it. That's it. Take care. All right, see, that wasn't so stinking hard, was it? And no different than anywhere else in the country where you are carrying, you know, the same. The only difference is here in California, obviously, you can carry concealed, but you can't carry exposed. So you got to have a permit, and you can carry concealed. And the places where you can carry here, honestly, are not dissimilar from where you carry anywhere else. It's been that way forever. So this is not news, right? It's not something new. This has been a normal practice for people with concealed carry permits as long as I can remember. And I'm getting pretty old, you know. And I've been carrying a long time. Put my phone back here on the little stand. Plug me back in. So there you are. I mean, I carry every day. I have with, you know, for the most part. I mean, I did take about 3 years there, I think, where I let my permit expire because I just didn't carry much. And I had kind of gotten out of the habit of doing it. Didn't really see the need. And sometimes carrying can be a nuisance, to be honest with you. I mean, and sometimes it's a good thing. But sometimes it's hard for folks, and I just, you know, I was doing things with it. Then the other thing, too, is that some places you can't go. For example, my kids were smaller at the time, and I just found that getting in and out of SeaWorld, getting in and out of the ball game, getting in and out of Disneyland when we used to go, when Disneyland was actually worth going to, it was a nuisance. You had to stop. I mean, they were kind, and certainly they accommodated you. All of those places you could go and turn the gun into the security department at Disneyland even, and they would check it for you, and you just come back later and pick it up. They didn't want you carrying it on the park, and I'm like, okay, well, it's your property, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. Besides which, some of the rides you get major soaking wet, and I'm like, I don't want to get soaking wet and get the gun all wet and everything else. So I didn't make too big of a deal out of that. I just figured, okay. But sometimes, depending on where you're going, taking the kids to the beach, you want to get in the water, what are you going to do with the gun? Can't leave it sitting over there with your umbrella and your blanket. So, as a practical matter, sometimes with the little kiddos, it was just kind of a nuisance, so I stopped doing it for a while. And then I let the permit go. I just didn't renew it. About 3 years later, I thought, no, that was dumb. And I went back and applied and got a new one. That's pretty much been my only gap. And that was it. A little 3-year period. I think it's about 3 years. And then too, while I've always considered myself a Christian, when I really started digging into the Bible, I started asking myself, well, gee, am I supposed to be going armed? You know, is that right as a Christian man? And that sort of coincided with that time. That's the other reason why I let the permit go. But, you know, after having studied it out in the Bible a lot, and many conversations, lots of prayer, lots of study, I came to the conclusion, no, there's nothing wrong with a Christian man carrying a weapon. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. Obviously, there's something wrong with a Christian man out murdering people, but I don't do that. I'd offer you some of my cooking, but I can't hand it through the video, so sorry about that. So, the truth is, while the permits in California have always been a bear to get, it could be done at the time. that you had to have a business or whatever. I owned a small business, or I was self-employed or what have you. Now it's shall issue, which is a huge improvement. It's not perfect. Constitutional carry is perfect. And that's the way it is in Arizona when we're out there. But shall issue sure beats the tar out of may issue in this whole situation where the sheriff can say, nah, I don't like the color of your hair. I don't like the fact that you didn't give me a contribution from my campaign, or you're not one of my homies, or whatever. So I don't like your attitude. You know, you groused at the clerk there a little bit because we took 3 years to look at you. So shall issue is tons better. We're moving in the right direction. I guess I wanted to make this video because I want you to understand that if you live in California and you don't have a permit, yeah, the hoops are ridiculous. They're unconstitutional. You shouldn't have to go through them. I couldn't agree more with all of that. I agree. But I also know that you can get the permit and you can carry to protect yourself and your family. So I would rather be, while we're fighting through the laws to correct this stuff, which really needs to be corrected, okay? I would rather be able to defend myself and my family, and then, you know, we'll correct the laws as we go. We'll fight the battles, and we'll get the Constitution, our constitutional rights restored. That seems to make a lot more sense to me than to, you know, fold up my, you know, take my ball and go home and say, well, if they don't do it my way, I'm not going to do it. If I can't have constitutional carry, I'm not going to carry. If I can't have open carry, I'm not going to carry. I'm just not going to do it. Forget it. I'm not paying that money. I'm not going through that process. Well, okay, like I said, I completely agree. I don't even agree with permitless carry, where you can only carry concealed. I think constitutional carry openly, carry concealed, carry any way you want. The Second Amendment is your permit. You don't need a permit. You shouldn't have to genuflect in front of a government authority or pay them a fee in order to exercise a constitutional right. You and I, if you agree with that, you and I are completely and totally in agreement. I agree. However, I'm also a pragmatist in the sense that I live in a state right now, at least half of the year, most of the year, I live in a state where that isn't the reality, and I still want the ability to keep criminals from killing me, or keep a criminal from robbing me, if I could, you know, and hurting me. I don't care if they take money, I'll give them the money. I don't care. I'm not killing somebody over money. Forget that. They can have the money. But if they want to take my life, or they want to hurt my family or somebody I care about, that's a different issue. And that's what the gun is for. So if that means I got to go through hoops with the sheriff, and I got to take a class, and I got to pay a fee, and I got to go through all the nonsense to accomplish that goal, then that's just the cost of the process at the moment. And while I disagree with it wholeheartedly, I'm not going to let it keep me from being able to protect my life and the lives of the people around me. That's my thinking on it. So today I just wanted to, you know, I've been doing quite a bit of running around, getting ready to go qualify some people on the range, and I didn't think earlier to grab the phone and hit record or whatever, so I apologize. I didn't get everything everywhere I went, but I mean, just in the last few days, I've been out working on a rental property. I've got out in El Centro, and I've been to Lowe's, I've been to Home Depot, I've been to 7-Eleven, I've been in the burrito shop, I've been in the Starbucks, I've been, you name it, I've been to In-N-Out, I've been, you know, because I'm just going about my day. And SB2's sensitive place thing has been enjoined again, so it's unenforceable. And as a result, I'm carrying like I've always carried in this state, or for that matter, like I carry in Arizona. I don't carry openly because I don't prefer it. I prefer concealed. It's not a right or wrong, it's just my preference. I could carry openly in Arizona. The only time I carry openly is if I'm hunting or hiking or something out in the boonies, and it's just more comfortable or whatever. But other than that, I carry concealed. So that's my personal preference, so that's what I do. Well, I do it the same here in California as I do anywhere else. And there's no, as far as I know, there's no place in California that I can't legally carry with a permit that I can carry in Arizona, except at a school. In Arizona, if I got an Arizona permit, which I do, and I'm an Arizona resident, so can I carry at a school if I want to drop, if my kids were going to school in Arizona, could I take them to school, drop them off, bring, yeah, sure, I can do that because because I have a permit in the state, and I'm a resident of the state. It's a second home, and I have a state ID there. California, they won't let you do that. Even with a permit, you can't carry on to school. So there's the exception, that's it. But as far as I know, that's all. Other than that, you carry where you go and whatever. So there you are. I hope that helps. I got to pay attention to my driving so I don't kill myself. That wouldn't be good. Have a wonderful week. Stay safe. And wherever you go, whatever you do, however you do it, whenever you do it, scrape the money together if you don't have it. Get your butt down there and or online or whatever with your local sheriff, your local police chief, whoever's issuing in California, if you're in California, and apply for a permit. The more people that have permits, the stronger a voting bloc the people who have permits are. And the easier it's going to be for folks like Chuck Michelle and Sam Paredes and Rick Travis and Dan Reed and others, and the Firearms Policy Coalition, and Good Night. I don't know, there's a lot of them, right? Even gun owners of San Diego or San Diego gun owners or whatever. They got a little thing going on in a few different places. I mean, all of them are fighting for the same thing. And that is to preserve the rights we already have and restore the ones we've lost in states like this. But it's easier to do if you actually go out and enjoy those rights. So get a permit, carry a gun, and enjoy it, and do it, and keep yourself safe. Okay? All righty. Stay safe.